I got arrested 40 times during the 60s, 5 times since I've been in Congress, and I'm probably going to get arrested again for something. If you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, you have a moral obligation. You have a mission to do something. Before we marched from Selma to Montgomery, we studied. We prepared ourselves as young people, as students, as adults. You must study what has happened in the past. All of us can play a role in saving our democracy. We have to save it. That is your calling. That is your mission. I felt strongly during the inauguration that I couldn't be at home with myself if I had to participate or be part of it. The movement taught us to withdraw from evil. And I never felt that his election was legitimate. After the March on Washington, as Dr. King suggested, we went back home, back to the heart of the Deep South. So many of us, we went to Selma. In Selma, only 2.1% of African Americans were registered to vote. The only time you could even attempt to register to vote was the first and third Mondays of each month. You had to stand in line, get a copy of the so-called literacy test, and hundreds and thousands of people would fail the so-called literacy test. African American lawyers, doctors, they were told they could not read or write well enough. In my native state of Alabama, they were asked to count the number of bubbles in a bar soap, the number of jelly beans in a jar in order to become a registered voter. So we started a series of demonstrations, standing in line at the courthouse. One evening, there was a demonstration. Confrontation occurred, and a young man tried to protect his mother. He was shot in the stomach, and a few days later, he died. We made a decision to attempt to march from Selma to Montgomery. We must go out and vote like we never, ever voted before. Voting rights are under attack in America. There's a deliberate and systematic attempt to prevent millions of elderly voters, young voters, students, minority, and low-income voters from exercising their constitutional right to engage in the democratic process. Use your vote and vote for people who will vote for you, who will look out for you. Some people gave more than a little blood. Yes. Some gave their very lives. June 21st, 1964. 3 young men that I knew, Andy Goodman, Nicky Schreiner, and James Chaney, went out on a summer night to investigate the burning of an African-American church for being used for voter registration workshop. These 3 young men were stopped by the sheriff, taken to jail, later taken out of the jail, turned over to the Klan, where they were beaten, shot, murdered. Their bodies were discovered 6 months later, buried under a mound of dirt. And never ever give up, never ever give in. Be brave and courageous.
It's hard, it is difficult, but you must never ever become hostile. Never ever hate. Hate is too heavy a burden to bear.
I don't know, John. My friends say I have broad shoulders.
You have to be in the arena. Be prepared. We all cannot play the same role, but we all can do something. We all can make a contribution.
We honor Representative John Lewis because he's one of the main reasons we're here. And he's just a good dude. Had Mr. Lewis not contributed the way he did, protesters might have been sprayed down with fire hoses, beaten to a pulp with billy clubs, or bitten by police dogs. Because that's what these assholes were doing back then. And I know that goes on somewhere, I'm sure, but not to the degree that it used to happen. Ultimately, we all owe Representative John Lewis a great debt, and we need to repay it with action. All of us. Let's hurry up and do it so that niggas can get back to whatever it is they trying to do, getting money, going to the club, whatever it is. But we have to fix it now. Otherwise, we will regress. A country does not maintain itself by itself. It takes people to start a country, to maintain a country, to grow a country. And we cannot sit idly by and let other people do the work for us because we will never be free. Tell them why you mad, son. So now the question becomes, what can we do? The most important thing that we can do is educate ourselves. If we do not educate ourselves, we will inevitably become more of a burden than a benefit. After we educate ourselves, we have to get more involved in our electoral process, because by the the time we've gotten to the general election, the chances of a clown passing through the barriers that we've set are much higher. So we have to be on clown patrol during the primaries. Okay, we're done. All right, see y'all later.